Without further ado, let's break down how to cold call, guys. I'm telling you, this is the perfect time to get into cold calling. This is the perfect time to get into all of it. So you might be asking yourself, who is this guy? Why is he screaming? Or why is he telling you to start wholesaling? What does he know about cold calling, right? Also, if you don't know me, my name is Zach Ginn. I wholesale real estate. I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals the past 6 years. Started wholesaling like 17. I'm 23 years old right now, and I teach people how to get into wholesaling real estate for free. I never claim to make hundreds of millions of dollars a year in wholesaling. I make millions in my business wholesaling real estate, but I can tell you straight up is I'm just a regular dude who got pretty decent at wholesaling, and I know how to make a lot of money and know how to help a lot of people make a lot of money in wholesaling. That's the point. That's what I want to share, and that is the point of this video. So without further ado, let's break it down. Let's get into it. And let's just really share my ultimate cold calling guide so you guys know how to get into cold calling. So without further ado, let's kind of pop this thing up here and break it down. So today I'm just going to break down my ultimate cold calling live. So we're ready to go and we're ready to share everything today. So let's break it down. So what is cold calling? So this is the first thing we got to understand. Don't want to confuse anybody too much on this, but let's just sort of break this down, right? What is cold calling, right? Like I always look at cold calling and always look at exactly how to simplify cold calling, right? That has always been the thing that I think is going to be the best for everyone, right? So what is cold calling, right? Cold calling is basically, when you look at it from a very, very basic perspective, is the art of reaching out and talking to homeowners for the purpose or to contact people who want to sell the property for cash. This is not closing sellers. Okay. I think a lot of people get very stressed out when they hear the word cold calling. They think, oh my gosh, this means I have to go close a bunch of sellers and I'm going to do all this crazy. No, this is not what cold calling is about. And this is not what we're teaching. And if you're cold calling today, that's actually not what you're doing. You are not closing anybody today. So I think a lot of people get really stressed out because they think, oh my gosh, I got to go close people right now. You're actually not closing people in cold calling. And let me explain. It's strictly for finding people that want to sell the property. That is the point of wholesaling when it comes to the marketing side. That is it. So let's just break down cold calling. Cold calling that I have found in my 6 years of wholesaling real estate, it all comes down to really 4 steps. And, you know, people sell $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 courses to learn cold calling. And really, these gurus confuse you on purpose. But really, when you look at cold calling from a nitty gritty perspective, it comes down to 4 simple things. And let's break down these 4 simple things, okay? Step 1, pulling a list. That is what the first step of cold calling is. Really not going to complicate it. I'm just going to give you the information right now, but that's step 1, pulling a list. Step 2, I've always said this, skip tracing the list. Skip tracing the list is finding somebody's phone number. Step 3, calling the list, right? Cold calling the list. They don't know who you are. So technically it is a cold call. And then step 4, you guessed it, putting the yeses in the CRM. Screenshot this. This really isn't as complicated as it seems, but really these are the 4 main steps. These are the 4 main things in wholesaling real estate that you got to understand. But really, this is what cold calling is all about. Like, this is literally $5,000 a month of information for cold calling mentorship. This is $1,000 of a little course right here. Just like, this is what it is. And this might not be what you want to hear. You might want to get this crazy 50-step prong type system that's going to confuse you and all this stuff. This ain't it, all right? This it ain't, boys and gals, okay? This is what it is. This is the truth. This is what wholesaling real estate is. And if this is not what you would like, it's okay. I don't want to confuse y'all on it, but this is what wholesaling real estate is, especially when it comes to cold calling. This is, you just got to simplify it, right? So step 1, pulling a list. Step 2, skip tracing said list. Step 3, cold calling the list and putting the yeses in the CRM. So if I can say this in one quick, like a minute, I'm going to find a list of somebody that wants to sell the property. I'm going to get the phone number. I'm going to see if they want to sell it by calling them. And if they say yes, I'm going to put them in the CRM. Boom, go to acquisitions, closing it, right? That is what cold calling is all about. Remember, in cold calling, the point, the singular goal in cold calling is to get a yes. You just want to find somebody that's interested in selling their property. That is wholesaling real estate, cold calling. Okay, that is what cold calling is. We are calling people on a list and seeing if they want to sell their house. If they want to sell their house, we might ask them a couple of questions, but it's not our job to close them. So many people think they have to close sellers on the first cold call. Now, for cold calling zillow for sale by owners, it's a little different, right? Because it's not as cold. But really, if I'm doing general cold calling, like for what mostly I teach and say, it's really not complicated. It's actually pretty simple. And this is why I can train people in the Philippines, in Mexico, South America, Central America, to cold call for me, because it's not that complicated. If you use a really simple script, it can go very, very well for you. And this is just a general life lesson I've learned for wholesaling for this business. But the more complicated you make wholesaling real estate, the less money you make. The more you simplify things, the more you keep it to a people's business, the more you're going to do well. And that is how I've been very successful, right? So what do we need to know before we start wholesaling? What do we need to know before we start cold calling, right? So before we start wholesaling, you should know what the laws are and everything like that. That's why I tell everyone to go there, freewholesaling.com. Once you get this going and you're ready to start cold calling, you come to me, like, Zach, I'm ready to cold call. I'm ready to go. What do you need to know before we start? Number one, this is a very important question. Most people can't answer this question, and that's just why they're failing in cold calling. Number one, you need to know what kind of leads you're going to pull and call. If you have no idea what kind of lead you're pulling and you're just trying to get into cold calling, you're doomed. Okay, you have to make a plan. Very important. Number two, how much time are you willing to call every single week? How much time are you planning? How much time are you out here actually dedicating to cold calling? You have to ask yourself this question. If you're not willing to dedicate a certain amount of time to cold calling, you probably need to switch up your list. Maybe you have to switch up your script. Maybe you have to switch some things up. I can help people with all types of time budgets and money budgets, but you got to ask yourself what it is, because once you put pen to paper, write it down, make that commitment, you're more willing to actually keep going on the information and getting on the actions. Number three, what script are you using? Most of y'all already know what my script is, but I can tell you, some people have personal flares they like to put in the script. That's okay. I don't really mind, but figure out what script you're using. And then lastly, this is probably one of the most important ones. This is one that is never really talked about, right? I think I got one more after this, but you have to know your objections and how to overcome them and what they are. And what I can tell you is, if you don't know that, you will fail in this business. You will fail in cold calling, straight up. Honestly, and just wholesaling real estate in general. I always said this, and I always say this every single time, and this is true. Wholesaling real estate investing is a fight. It is a literal fight. And no, it's not physical violence, which never good, right? But it is literally like a boxing match. If you know you're going to a boxing match, you probably know you're probably going to get punched. Someone's going to try to punch me if I'm boxing, right? It's just the name of the game, right? That's how it works. If I'm going into a fight, I'm probably going to get punched in the face. We don't like that fact. It's scary, but that's how it works, right? And there's plenty of people that go into boxing that are scared before they get in the ring to get punched. And it's people go into wholesaling. They know they're going to get punched, right? It's a fight. But here's the thing. If you don't know how to defend yourself in a boxing match, you're going to lose, okay? That's just how it works. So if I have my fist up right now and I'm boxing, I probably should know how to defend myself. So if I know if somebody is going to try to give me, if someone's going to jab and they're going to swing, you're going to know how to defend yourself, okay? So if I know that someone's like this and somebody tries to jab me, I should know what to do. So if I just stand there and let somebody just beat on me, so if I know if someone's going to give me a right hook, okay, if somebody gives me a right hook, that's my objection. What do I do? Well, if someone's giving me a right hook, okay, if someone's giving me a hook, I know I can go back, okay, I can duck, I can block, right, and protect myself. I know how to defend myself from that move. So if someone's trying to jab me, I like to get out of the way. You can go there. There's some dodging, right? Little Floyd Mayweather action right there, get some shuffling like Muhammad Ali. But you should know how to do it. And that sometimes you know how to stop a hook. But if a Francis Ngannou type guy is going to give you a hook, there's nothing much you can do. We all know this. But if you know to generally defend yourself, you have a chance in the fight, right? And it's not as scary or stressful as being in a boxing match, okay? I promise you here. But you should know what to do if that ever happens. So if I know somebody's going to say, and here's the coolest part about wholesaling and boxing, right? Wholesaling objections are like that a really annoying kid. So let's say this kid says, okay, you know what? In the next 10 seconds, I'm going to punch you straight in your face, okay? In 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8. And then you go to 1, and then he tries to hit you straight in the face with a jab. Guess what? If he just told me what he's going to do. Okay, if he's going to hit me straight up in the face, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get out of the way like this, okay? Or I'm just going to duck, or I'm going to do something, or just like get out of the way, right? This is how wholesaling, cold calling goes with the objections. So I know if somebody asks me, hey, how much are you willing to offer me on the house? Oh, I know that objection. I have it written down right here. Okay, if somebody asks me how much I'm going to offer on their house, I can use the car analogy. Got it, right? Like you have a cheat sheet in front of you what to do. Okay, in boxing, you don't get that cheat sheet, right? You just see the hook coming, right? In wholesaling, you could write down a cheat sheet of what to do. It's like cheating on a test. It's great. It's the best thing ever, right? And that is the point. That is what, so if you don't know how to overcome it, you're going to fail. And this is a massive issue I see. If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to fail here, okay? Next here, did you create an action plan? If you don't have any action, not going to do well. If you don't have a plan, you're not going to do well. So this is why the action plan combined is probably one of the most important things you can do, okay? This is why it's super important wholesaling real estate that you can actually go out here and formulate a plan for your success. So many wholesalers out here, they don't know what they're doing when it comes to their action plan. And if you plan to actually make an action plan, you're probably not going to do well. When I survey very successful wholesalers in real estate wholesaling, they all have an action plan. They all do. They all create a plan. And guys, I am a broken record when I say this all the time. But if you look at the greatest men and women in history that you look up to as a mentor, you look at them as just a great figure in history, they all had a stinking plan, okay? They all had a stinking plan. Every single one. The greatest military leaders, the greatest leaders just like in politics, the greatest leaders when it comes to like ancient times, right? They all had plans to do great things, right? And you got to think about that to an extent, right? Like you look at Gandhi. That boy Gandhi had a plan before he did a bunch of things, right? Einstein had a plan. These people, these men and women all had plans. And if you don't have a plan, you're not going to do very well, okay? And just, it's very stressful, I think, for a lot of people to go out here without a plan, right? So one person I always love talking about is Kobe Bryant. I love Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. But Kobe Bryant had a plan for basically everything he did when it came to his achievements in life, right? That guy's a winner. Always had a plan. Like if you don't have a plan, you're not going to do well, right? You look at some of the other great people in history. You know, I like looking at Winston Churchill a lot because he had some very dark days and he had a plan to get victory, right? And things aren't as dire as it is back then, right? Until now, but you have to have a plan, right? Mark Cuban had a plan. Bezos had a plan. All the great entrepreneurs had a plan. The greatest real estate, they all got plans. So if you think you are smarter than all those people, then sure. If you really think you're better than Kobe Bryant, then go out here without a plan. If you don't think you're better than Kobe, get a plan. And I don't think I'm better than Kobe. Okay, so I'm going to make a stinking plan. And that has been one thing that's given me a lot of success. So what are the best leads to cold call, right? I said, hey, know what type of leads to pull. I ain't no guru. I ain't going to leave you out, out here in the dust so you can't do anything, right? I'm going to give you exactly what you got to do. So let's break this down. The best leads to cold call, right? Number one, the government lists. I cannot say this enough. For most people starting out, when you got no money, you probably got to do some government lists for wholesaling. Government lists are absolutely essential for your success. And for most beginner wholesalers, you have to be cold calling the government list when you got no money, right? So the next one here is, we'll break down government lists on the next slide. I wrote down the next one. So number two, the vacant list, right? Get it from listrei.com, get it from zachdata.com. I can tell you guys straight up, when it comes to vacant lists for wholesaling real estate, they're great because the property is just sitting there and there's a high motivation of wanting to sell the property. And yes, we love our drawing for dollars out here, but you can't put a sticky note on those properties because they're vacant. So they're less willing to actually want to get rid of the prop. They're less willing to go like door knocking or sticking it on there. So that's why it works very well. Number 3 here is the high equity. Get it from freewholesaling.com filters. We got the filters on there. That's a great list. A little bigger list, but it's definitely a really good one here. Drawing for dollars, just y'all know I've been screaming about drawing for dollars forever. But like if you get have conversations with people that literally go out here and just have ugly looking properties, you're going to do fine. That is the point, right? Tired landlords, guys, if you have a tenant and you want to just get rid of them and we just give you a call, it's really good, right? Tired landlords, get that from listaria.com or zachdata.com. Amazing list. Zillow for sale by owners. That's the last one. I can tell you straight up, guys and gals, the Zillow for sale by owners is probably not the, it's not the tippy top tier list to cold call, but it's great practice. And I think for a lot of people scared to cold call, it is a list you probably should be pulling. And I'm just being honest with you. If you are just scared to death to go out here and start cold calling sellers, try the Zillow for sale by owners. I think you do very well. And then let's talk about the government list. All right, so these are the government lists I pulled because there's a lot of them. So let's write these down. Remember, at freewholesaling.com, bottom right-hand corner there. That's really when you break these down. So what are the top government lists for you to be pulling? Number 1 is going to be the code violations. Remember, you get this from the code enforcement department. Number 2, the probates, people that unfortunately pass away. We talked to heirs. Talk to the probates, guys. Absolutely amazing. Number 3, the tax, credit card, and IRS debt lien lists. You get these actually from the local county's clerk of the court website. Absolutely amazing. People behind their taxes, credit cards, and on their taxes and on their IRS federal taxes. Great list. 4, here's the water shutoff list. If water ain't running in the house, I tell you guys, you do not want to be dealing with that property. You don't want to be living in it. And there's a lot of motivation to want to sell the property there, right? Fire damage properties, properties that went on fire. Guys, it is a great list. I'm telling you, you should be pulling that. But really, you pull these leads, and the point here is you have an action plan, right? You just need to take that action, right? So what is an action plan? An action plan is just your plan of attack to become successful in wholesaling real estate. This is where most wholesalers don't have a plan. And when you don't have a plan, you're going to fail. All right. So how to create an action plan, right? It comes down to 2 basic steps, right? Number 1, creating a time budget. And then number 2, creating a money budget. So what is a time budget? A time budget is basically a budget of the time. So like I kind of said before in the beginning, how many hours are you willing to take to become successful in cold calling, right? How many hours are you willing to give every single week to your marketing? Oh, I can do 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that is 10 hours, right? Pretty simple. I can give 10 hours to cold calling. That's fine, right? Maybe 2 or 3 hours for list pulling, skip tracing, 15 hours. That's fine, right? I can do this for drawing for dollars, this for this, right? Perfect, right? 2 is a money budget. How much money can I spend? I can tell you, I would probably say I'd rather you have a bigger time budget than having a bigger money budget, because time is more important than money. And I can tell you is somebody out here with no money that can dedicate 25 hours to cold calling will do better than the person that has $1,000 that can only dedicate 3 hours to cold calling. Okay. There's just time is way more important starting out than the money, because the money is just a tool, and the time you just get better skills when it comes to talking to sellers and cold calling. So it is more important, but it's important to have both. And if you have a lot of time and some money to spend, it's a great one, right? And I want to tell everybody this. This is very contrary to most gurus tell you, but it's the truth. And I'm saying this, and you don't need no money for this, but it's the truth. You need a dialer. Everybody watching this needs a dialer. You don't need to pay for a dialer, but you need a dialer, right? So you must use a dialer. If you're not using a dialer, using a personal cell, that is not good for cold calling. You got to separate it, right? And that's because a lot of virtual wholesalers are doing this, and it's just not looking good, right? So if you need a free dialer, just go to Google Voice. Google Voice is basically a free dialer, more or less, where you can get any area code, you get professional voicemail, all of these things. It's great. Just go to Google Voice, and it'll basically share with you exactly in freewholesaling.com how to use it. Google Voice is absolutely amazing. And they use like a pay dialer, right? Like you can do ZachDialer.com if you're doing some more dialing, but you don't really have to use that like as a beginner. Like I don't think you really even need that. So let's break down the steps, right? So we talked about step 1, pulling your list. If you want to know exactly how to pull each of these lists individually, just go to freewholesaling.com. They're all individually done, like an hour each. Hey, this is Zach, how to pull the code violations, how to do this. And I do it live. I show you replays of me pulling the list, right? How to do them online, if you're virtual, in person, all these things. It's really not that complicated. Like I'll tell you, for example, I didn't know how to use Podio at all starting out, but I started to watch some YouTube tutorials on it, and then it was like second nature for me, right? So the same thing's going to be like for you guys. So if you don't know how to pull the probate list, I have some videos where I just go behind the computer and I just pull the probates up and I show you how to do it, right? Like that's how I learn. I don't know, kids these days, right? But like that's why I learn a lot, and I think that's going to help you guys a lot too, right? And it's all, most of these lists, if they're government, they're going to be free. So pretty cool. Number 2, skip trace the list, get their phone number right. So how do you find free skip tracing, right? So free skip tracing basically comes from 3 distinct categories, right? TruePeopleSearch.com is going to be the top way to find somebody's phone number absolutely for free. Number 2 is going to be the white pages. And number 3 is going to be from DMing and direct messaging your sellers. If you know how to do TruePeopleSearch.com, white pages, DMing your sellers, just go to Facebook, say, hey, I have a quick question about your property. Can I get a call or can I talk to you about it? If you can't find anybody's phone number, it's going to be absolutely amazing, right? I think so many wholesalers out here get very confused on it, but like that's really what you got to do. Now you got paid skip tracing, right, guys? So there's 2 ways to do paid skip tracing, right? You use listria.com at about 12 cents a record. You use ZachData.com, 13, 15 cents, right? You get the bigger ones, you get up to like 10 cents. Kind of the plan that I got on batch, but you just whatever one you want. But that's for people that don't want to use the free skip tracing, right? And number 3, here's the important one. This is the money. This is the money step. This is when we start making money. Okay. This is when you start getting that cash. All right. So let's talk about cold calling your list. All right. Let's give me the scripts. Let me give $1 million shebang. This is the whole enchilada. Let's break it down. Okay. And you can screenshot this stuff I teach at freewholesaling.com. This is what it is. So let's break this down. This is my $1 million cold calling script. All right. This is a script that makes me millions of dollars every single year. Now, if you don't want to use it, that's fine. But I can tell you is this script probably produces, I would say, $1 million a month from all of people following me using the script. And that's I know it's in the 7 figures. I don't think it's going to be 8 figures every single month just from cold calling because if everyone uses other strategies that I do. But I would say all of my followers on the YouTube channels, Facebook group, Instagram, all these people, right? I have almost 1 million followers like combined on all these people. Like if all these people are using the scripts and from the checks I see, it's producing millions every single month of just people using the script. Millions a year for me, my personal business with the script, not $1 million a month on there. Working on it, right? Just working on it, but $1 million every single month from just my followers using the script. So I can tell you straight up before I give it to you, I want y'all to understand this. If most of the followers, if my followers watching me and getting my information are making millions of dollars every single month with this simple script, unless you are making millions of dollars every single month in your cold calling, you should probably use this script. Now, hey, prove me wrong, but most people that using their own specific script and it's not working well, it's because it's probably too complicated. You're not getting to the point. You're wasting time and you got the wrong calling and the wrong tonality, right? Like you're probably just calling the wrong way. So I'm saying this humbly, unless you are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month in cold calling, I would use the script until you do, then develop your own stinking script. Okay. What I can tell you is once you actually act like a human being, you actually become very successful at cold calling. This is a very shocking statement. This is a very surprising thing, right? Because you're listening to your guru, right? That ain't what it's about. All right. So let's break it down. Let's break down my $1 million cold calling script. Okay. Y'all spend thousands of dollars in my guru mastermind today to watch this. So let's break it down. Number 1, this is ring, ring, ring. This is shocking, but you just asked him this question. Is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Why am I asking such a stupid, simple question? The reason why I asked this stinking stupid, simple question is because it throws you off. Psychologically, it will throw you off because you got to remember how most people answer phones. Okay. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Unknown number. I don't know this number. I'm sketched out. Hello? Right? Like that's how they answer it. And so if you say, this is Zach from Zach Home Solutions. And that could have been a deal, but I sound like a stupid scam caller, right? I'm going to go watch my Bachelor in Paradise TV show on the couch, right? Like that's what most people are, right? That's how they are. Most people, when they answer the cold call, they want to find a reason to get off the phone as soon as possible. They don't want to deal with you. Okay. They're enjoying their lives right now. Most of these people are on TikTok. They're like stuck at like, they want to get their dopamine hit from whatever they're doing, right? TV shows, social media, like whatever, even reading a book, relaxing, right? Like they're doing something chill. Like they don't want to be talking about real estate right now. They don't. Shocking you, but it's true. So you got to give them a reason to stay on the stinking phone. So if I say, this is Zach with Zach Home Solutions, no, back to my show, right? Like that's what most people are going to do. So how do I use the ninja sales tactic here, right? You're just going to ask them, hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? It's going to be shocking. Wait, yes, this is him. What do you want? Now you got them engaged. Now they're not no mode, right? Because most cold calls go, first of all, they're like, are you looking to sell your house? No. They just want to get off the phone. They just want to get off that sinking phone. Are you interested in buying solar? No. Right? Like most people automatically, they're a no mode. So guess what? Let's put them in a yes mode. So they're ready to say no. This is why my initial script doesn't say, hey, you're looking to sell your house? No. Right? They don't want to think about it, right? But if you put them in yes mode, they are way more likely, 60, 70, 80% more likely to say yes after you ask them this question. I don't really reveal this too much about the script because I just want to make it really simple, but it's actually a very complicated script that took me years. It's psychologically proven to get more yeses. Math, science, I've used a lot of scripts, guys and gals. This is the script that I give you. This is my greatest gift I could probably give to people on scripts because this is a gift that I personally use in my business and it makes people a lot of money. Now that they said yes to the owner, they're interested. Maybe they paused their TV show. Maybe they're off of TikTok right now. Maybe they're off of whatever they're using to distract them. And now they're completely engaged on the next question. Because it's like, who is this person? Is this a police officer? Is this the FBI? Is this an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend? Like, who are these people, right? Like, is this a family member calling from jail? Like, is this a doctor giving me a diagnosis? Like, what's going on? How does this person know where I live? You really got their full attention by just asking that super, super simple question. And that is why you ask that question first. No guru says this. No guru will ever give you this stuff because these gurus they're so broke that they don't even know how the stuff works. They don't know how the psychological works and they don't know how to close sellers. So now you broke that down. You broke their concentration. Now you ask them the next question. And this is super simple. Hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question. ... Oh my gosh, what is the question? Are you interested in selling that property? That is it. Because now they are more open and more willing to take a suggestion of them actually looking to sell the property. We give a little curiosity in there, right? We get a little interesting on there and then boom, we hit them with it. I can tell you, you will quadruple your results by asking that and saying, hey, are you looking to sell your property? Are you interested in selling your property? Because no. Psychologically, once you can open somebody's mindset, they're more willing to sell, right? They're more willing to sell the property. I could tell you a lot of psychological sales books in this, and this is kind of for show. If I can show you my actual book collection, it'd be a lot nicer, a lot bigger. But what I could tell you is I've made millions of dollars in this business. And what I could tell you is what the power of opening somebody's mind and suggestive thinking will change a lot. And you're not convincing somebody to like, you're not, but you just want to get people off that no mentality, right? Because from when I started wholesaling 6 years ago to now, people are a lot more just in that no mentality. They're a lot more into their, I don't know how to say this the right way, but like in their social medias, into whatever they're doing to relax, or like they're not working, they're looking to relax, chill out. They're not in that like engaged state to have an actual conversation most of the time, right? You got to get them out of that mode, right? And This is why it's super, super important to ask it this way. And I want everybody to understand that. That's my $1 million cold calling script. I know it seems simple. I think most people are like, I'm better than that. You're not. All right. I'm not better than the script. Okay. And this is the script that I've developed. Me and Rick, it's taken us a very long time, but hey, this is the owner of 123 Main Street. Hey, this is Zach. So you're introducing who you are to build a little bit of trust. I had a quick question. Are you interested in selling that property? Let's say it one more time together. Okay. Let's say it one more time together, all together. Is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question. Are you interested in selling that property? That's it. Okay. Because once you ask that question, it's going to be a yes or no, right? And most of them are going to be no's, just letting everybody know. Most of it's going to be a no. That's okay because you're more likely to get that yes. So this is a script. Screenshot it. Do whatever you want with it. But I'm telling you, this will make you millions of dollars if you know how to effectively use it. It is a tool. Like I've said before, what is it worth to you? What is the script worth? It's like asking what a baseball bat is worth to a criminal. Not good. Or what is a baseball worth to Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge with a baseball can make millions of dollars. What can Zach Ginn do with a baseball bat? Not much. Swing and miss probably. Just being honest. I'm not that good at baseball. I was pretty good at T-ball, but not baseball, right? Same thing with basketball, right? What can LeBron James do with a basketball? He could probably make millions of dollars with a basketball. Oh, he will. What can I do with a basketball? Lose and pick up, right? Like that's what I am, okay? But you got to think about like this script in the right hands is super powerful. In the wrong hands of somebody that's not willing to use the script, not willing to get the right list, they'll fumble it, right? They'll fumble it. They'll do terrible. But if you are actually out here and you know how to use, you have the good script and you can use that tool successfully, you'll do very well. And this is something you guys have to understand about cold calling, about real estate, about wholesaling, right? It's all about the tools and how you use them. Because I just gave you the most powerful tool of all, which is the script. But if you don't use the script wisely, you're going to fail. You're 100% probably going to fail, okay? So you got to know what to do. So here it is. Screenshot it. Go to wholesaling.com, get it. I'm going to give you a couple seconds. I'm going to go on the next part here. But just let everybody kind of, all right, y'all screenshot it. All right. So let's break down the punches, right? Now people start punching you, right? Now you ask that question. The punches start flying. Ding, ding, right? The ding, ding hopped on. Oh, snap. Now some of these people will start punching you, right? With words, right? Like no physical violence here, right? But like, oh no, what do we do? So let's break down some of those common punches, the most common attacks, the most common objections you're going to get, and how to defend them. All right. So let's break down how to do this. Okay. So number one, I would sell my house, but where would I go? I will tell you that is probably the objection that just gets under my skin. And I don't know why, but I just think I get so mad as a beginner when I got asked this question because I'm like, why would he even ask me that? Just say no. So there's actually a very easy way to get over this objection. Mr. Seller, when we buy a property from somebody, we usually give them the cash. So you will get cash. Most people, when we buy their house, they use that money and buy another house. So that's where they would go. You can go wherever you want. You can go to Mississippi, you go to Alabama, you go to New York, right? So where would you do? Most people have a plan when they sell a house. Millions of people sell their house every single day. And when they sell it, they usually move to another spot. You can rent a property out. You can buy a property. There's a million things you can do. You're going to have the money when we buy it because we pay all cash. Like, what else is there? People that would need to sell their property, they have a plan, okay? Like, I've sold houses I've lived in before. I've bought properties that I live in, right? Like, when I sell a house, I usually go to another one, right? It's really not that complicated. And you got to make it really simple because that is kind of a smart aleck question. That is that most likely that's not someone that wants to sell their property. I don't even know. I might have to go through my data logs of VAs. I don't think I've ever closed a seller that asked me that in the beginning and I closed like a deal off of that. But you could go over it, right? Now, this objection, this is an objection I actually get a lot with cold calling, and this is actually a pretty easy one to get over, right? So, who is this and what do you want? So, hey, Miss Shelley, looking to sell the property. Who is this? What do you want? Right? Hey, this is Zach. Me and my partner looking to buy a couple more properties in the area for cash. Are you looking to sell your property? That's it. So let's do it one more time. Hey, Mr. Seller, you're looking to sell the property? Who is this? What do you want? Ah, right? And they go very aggressive when they do this. Hey, Mr. Seller, my name is Zach Ginn. Me and my partner, Jeff, are looking to buy a couple more properties in the Hilton Head, South Carolina area, right? And we're looking to buy about 2 or 3 more this month. Are you looking to sell your property? That's pretty much it, right? I'm telling everybody straight up in wholesaling real estate, right? If you go actually out here and start having conversations with sellers, you're going to get objections, but you know how to answer these objections the right way, you're going to do very, very well, right? So, yeah, that's probably one of the most common objections I get on that end, right? This is a great one, how much are you offering the house? And it's usually never like that. It's usually a lot more aggressive. So what do I mean by that? Hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question. Are you looking to sell the property? Are you interested in selling the property? Huh? What? How much are you offering for the house? Huh? What's your offer? What's your offer? What's your offer? They literally do not stop. And I can tell you the people in the comments, they know what I'm talking about. They really do some cold calling. Some aggressive people out here. And don't want to make fun of my New Yorkers, but I'm in Florida. The people that are like this are people from New York. Prefer pretty much Queens and the Bronx. Brooklyn people don't do that. Long Island people are some Long Island people, but if you're from the Bronx or Queens, you're screaming my head off of how much are you offering for the house like 50 times. Okay. Love Queens, love the Bronx. I've been there. I love that place. Love the people. But holy moly, when they move to Florida, they are insanely aggressive. Okay. But what I can tell you is Jersey people too, a little bit, but Jersey people a little more standoffish. But so how much are you offering? Hey, Mr. Seller, I would love to give you an offer on the property. But before I give you an offer, can I ask you a quick question? Yeah, what is that? Huh? What's your offer? Have you ever bought a car? Yes, I bought a car before. Well, when you bought the car, did you test drive it? Of course I test drove that car. Well, I sort of have to do that. I sort of have to do that with real estate. So if I buy a car, I'm going to have to test drive it, right? So why would I give you an offer on a house when I haven't seen it, right? Because maybe the house has termites. Maybe the house has a lot of issues. I don't know. Maybe the house is even more perfect. I give you a better offer. But me just saying an offer straight up out here, it's not going to be legitimate. And really, when I give offers, I'm completely 100% have my word as a man when it comes out here giving this offer. And I can't give you my full word on an offer just over the phone. I kind of, I can say a little more on that, but like, that's it, right? And hey, as my word as a woman, like whatever way you want to do it, if you're a female, right? But like, I like to say that too with a lot of people. Hey, I have my word as a man and I stick to my word, and I can't give you my word on an offer if I haven't seen it, right? So shout out to my people from Queens and the Bronx. They're also a lot on their word too. A lot of Jersey people like that. My word is everything, right? And you sort of say that to a New Yorker and they're like, yeah, right. And they're like, yeah, because they're very big on their word, right? Loyalty, all that stuff, right? And so you kind of switch off their aggressiveness back on them, right? You kind of flip it back on them and it works really well, right? So it's pretty good. So that is what that objection is kind of funny. But yeah, next tier. How much are you offering? And then really that's pretty much it, but one thing I can tell you, so if they say yes, ask them these 4 questions. Okay. So if you're asking them, hey, you're looking to sell the property. Yes, I actually am looking to sell my property. Here's the script after, right? Because most people like, this actually happened to me. Okay. I'm going to be straight up to you. Okay. I think my second or third cold call ever. All right. Cold call. Oh, I'm not looking to sell. I'm not looking to sell. And then like the third one, I was like, hey, you looking to sell? He said, yes. I was like, what? Huh? You're looking to sell? Yeah, I'm looking to sell my house. Oh, okay. And then I looked at my script. I'm like, I didn't even plan this far. I kind of use it like bandit signs. I went from the MCTP there, but I was like, oh my gosh, I got a yes. And some of you guys are like, you get like 50 no's and you got to get a yes. You're like, wait, you're looking to sell? Huh? Right? And it's kind of funny, but like it happens for a lot of people, right? So when they say, hey, I'm looking to sell, just think of MCTP. So if they say they're looking to sell the property, you got to ask them these 4 questions. M, motivation for M, C, condition, T, time frame, and P, price. So let's get into how to say these the right way, right? Motivation, keep it really simple, y'all. Hey, why are you looking to sell the property? Number 2, condition. Can you tell me a little about the property? Does it need any repairs? How's the roof? How's the AC? Things like that, right? Number 3, time frame. When are you looking to sell the property? You're looking to sell the property in a week, a month, a year. Like, when are you looking to sell the house? Lastly is price. What price are you looking to sell the property for? So what price works for you? What ballpark figure works, right? And then really, ideally, the perfect time frame, right? That's pretty much it, right? I think so many people out here really complicate this. Keep it to MCTP, freewholesaling.com. That's what we break down, right? Now, I want you to say, if you ask these questions, you build some rapport. Remember, guys, you are not closing the seller. You're just getting off the phone, and then you get some more information, and then you can close them from there. Most people aren't willing to go close a property the first call. So don't give them that offer first, right? So step 4, put the lead in the CRM. So basically tell the seller you will look up the property, talk it over with your partner, and then you'll give them a call back tomorrow. And really, you can't gather the ARVs that quick over the phone, like a minute, right? Maybe 2 or 3 minutes if you do it really, really fast, which you can do with like a FSBO, but like you want to get the information right. And you call them back, you want to set the appointment right. That is the point here, guys. You want to get all the decision makers on the phone. When you're cold calling, you don't have the big advantage there, right? Like you think of Star Wars, you don't have the high ground. And everybody knows if you have the high ground, you have the advantage. And cold calling, you're not on the high ground. It's like flatlands, right? So you don't want to be dealing with that, right? So just understand that. Put in your CRM, you'll be good to go. Now, I want to break down this really important point here. But what separates a good and a bad cold caller? Very, very easy. This is a very simple one. Confidence. Okay, guys and gals? A good cold caller has confidence. A bad cold caller does not. Confidence is in the belief of what you say. How do you gain confidence, right? Gain confidence. You can basically get confidence from experience and reps, knowing your objections, because a lot of people aren't confident when they get an objection. Oh my gosh, they freeze up. They get freaked out. Knowing your objection is going to be very important. Having a cash buyer on deck is very important too. If you have a cash buyer on deck, you might be a little more confident that you and your partner can buy it because you actually have a cash partner already looking to buy it, right? Knowing the scripts too, but I think the script's pretty simple. And then from there, belief in your ability to buy the house with a cash buyer. Remember, guys, what I said before, what is confidence? Confidence is a belief of what you say, the words you say, and the action you take. I kind of said this on Sunday on my personal channel when I was talking, but I can tell everybody watching this, okay? When you talk to a motivated seller, you're not an expert on real estate. You're an expert in helping people out. You're an expert on giving cash offers. So if somebody has a question about this crazy repair on a spigot on the side of the house and you don't know plumbing or like outdoor plumbing at all, hey, I'll talk to my handyman or a plumber on this. I'm not too sure. I know this has to be fixed, but I don't know the exact cost or price of it. That's fine, right? So if you buy somebody's car, like you don't have to be an expert on cars, but you obviously a process of talking to somebody that's looking to sell their car, right? That's how you do it. Guys, today is the time. Right now is the time. This is the perfect time to take action. This is the perfect time to change your life. If you do not want to change your life, that's fine. I'm not here to help the people that don't want to be helped. I can tell you is I just gave you all the tools for success. The question is, are you willing to take the tools and become successful with it? Or are you willing not to, right? Like, I can't make you become successful in wholesaling real estate. I cannot get you your first deal. I can't do those things. I can't. What I can do is give you everything you need to know to become successful. All right. If you're not willing to become successful, that's honestly up to you. I've given you the information.